Hey guys, so this first playwriting lesson should be very, very simple. It's all about nailing the format that we're going to be using as we move forward. So I'm working in Microsoft Word. If you're doing it in Google Docs or some other kind of word processor, it might be a little bit different for you. And if you don't have the exact settings that I use, that's not a problem. You can also text me if you have any questions. But starting off, we're always going to work in Times New Roman, font size 12. And the other thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that our paragraph spacing is set to 1. We don't want it to be double spaced. We want it to be single spaced because that way we can control the layout of our play much better. So right off the bat, I'm going to use this, use very, very straightforward words here. Like I'm not going to create a play title for our mock page. The goal is that you are going to have exactly what I create here. So if I title this demo play title, then that's exactly what I want you to write. And underneath, you would write your name. Now, let me double check right here. Okay, so I have it set to single spaced, but there's a little bit of an extra gap there that I don't want, which means that one of these settings has been added in. Okay, so you can tell I need to select remove space after paragraph. So see how there's a gap between play title and by Noah Todd? I want you to make sure that you don't have that space after the paragraph. Now it's truly single spaced. That's exactly what we want. So when you replicate this, as of right now, you would just have play title and then your name underneath it. This way, with the single spacing, without the space after the paragraph, hitting enter twice will give us a gap for our next part. We're going to have our character list, and we're going to write exactly that, character list. You'll see that throughout playwriting, we're going to use all caps whenever we need to denote a new section. Going back to the left alignment, we're going to have our first character. And again, literally for the sake of knowing what our play layout is going to be, I'm going to write first character, colon, and then a sentence describing the first character. All right, simple as that. 2 spaces, that's hitting enter twice. Second character, a sentence describing the second character. So, again, just going over it, we have our play title by Noah Todd. We have now the power to just put our own spacing in manually, so we're always going to have that additional space in between each new section. So we have a blank space, character list in all caps, blank space. Character names are usually going to be all caps. And so where I say first character here, when we go into actually writing the play, that character's name would pop up. Like if the character's name was Noah, it would be Noah in all caps. But since we want to use this as a reference sheet, we're putting in these generic terms, first character, second character. So here, hitting enter twice again is where we want to get in a horizontal line. And so this is something that's different between different word processors. It's okay if you can't find this setting, but for Microsoft Word, it's here in borders. So in the border section, horizontal line gives us just a nice spacer, all right? So the first thing that your play is going to start with is it's going to start with stage directions. And those are in the plays that we've been reading so far, every part that's in italics, okay? So your stage direction has to be italicized and in parentheses, okay? So we're going to actually start with lights up because literally the lights would turn on. Lights up. This is the first stage direction. It is in italics and in parentheses. Oh my gosh, parentheses. All right. And the other thing that you should note is, like I said before, character names are going to be in all caps. And so lights up for stage direction is in italics and parentheses. Character names are going to be capitalized when they are in a stage direction, all right? So it would be something like first character enters. Oop, enters. Okay? So the reason that we have character names in all caps in a stage direction is so that if I was an actor playing that character, it's very, very easy for me to follow along what I'm supposed to be doing. Now, the key here with stage directions is because since it goes over one line on the page, what you actually have to do, because this needs to be one indent in, if I just did one tab right there, it doesn't put the second part under the tab. See how this is still all the way to the left? So what you have to do is you actually have to hit tab twice and then backspace once. Okay? I'm going to do that again. See how one tab doesn't work because this part here is still aligned to the left? I need you to do tab, tab, and then backspace once. So I'm even going to add in to my stage direction, all right? I'm going to say stage directions are one tab in, and then first character enters. Awesome. So now I want my first character to say his line. My first character is going to pop up here. First character is my character's name. Just for the sake of our demo, his name is first character. And character names are 2 tabs in. And it'll make more sense when there's more stuff on our page. When it's all filled out, it'll look a little clearer, all right? My first character, this is my first line. All right? So what I want you to take note of already is stage directions are 2 tabs in. Character names, when they're going to speak, are... Oh, I'm so sorry. Stage directions are 1 tab in. Okay? They are 1 tab in. You just have to hit tab twice and then backspace once to get the entire stage direction to be 1 tab in. So, stage directions are 1 tab in. Character names, when they're going to speak, are 2 tabs in. And their lines are all the way to the left. Okay? So, 1 tab in for stage direction, 2 tabs in for character name, all the way to the left for actually when they speak. All right? So if we added in another stage direction for the next character to enter, I'm going to write it first and then I'll tab it in. Just second character enters. All right? That's 1 tab in. Oops. That's 1 tab in. We don't have to do 2 tabs in because it's not longer than 1 actual line on the page. But I'll just write this out. If this is too long and it extends beyond just 1 line on the page, you press tab twice and backspace once. And that's just what I was going over before, right? Because see how if it's short, if my stage direction is short like that, then you only have to press tab once when you're over here. But if my stage direction is longer, then look, you still have that kind of squeezed over on the left there. So you want to go back to the beginning, tab twice, backspace once. Second character enters. If this is too long and it extends beyond just 1 line on the page, you press tab twice and backspace once. And again, that is just a reiteration of what we had gone over with stage directions before. My second character is going to have their first line. So, character name. This is my response. All right. So again, 1 tab in for stage direction, 2 tabs in for character name. Their dialogue is actually all the way on the left. And what I want you to notice here is that we have those extra spaces in between information in our play, right? Because we have our stage direction, then we have a blank space that we put in, and then our character name. But when you're actually speaking, when the characters are talking, you don't put in that extra space here. All right? This is what I'm talking about. We don't put in an extra space like that. All right? The reason why we only write in single spaced is because it allows us to associate what our character says with who says it. Okay? Now, one last thing that I want to go over with you. So I'm going to have my first character speak again. First character, if they have an emotion that they need to convey, all right, where do you think that goes? We're going to put it in a stage direction right here. So our first character is going to be happy. It's so good to see you. And so you see how because we don't have these extra spaces here, we're associating that stage direction and this line with the first character, right? And so, again, just reinforcing, that's why we're writing in single-spaced instead of double-spaced. Whereas usually, if you're writing a paper in MLA format, you would write it double-spaced. But if we can write single-spaced for our plays, then you can associate, oh, this line goes to this character. This line and this stage direction go to this character. We want to end our play, lights out, and then an additional space again, the end. Now, the end at the end of your play is not in parentheses. I just want you to take note of that. So your first assignment, because this basically gets down all of your formatting for the rest of the play, if you were to write your own play, you can just follow this guide and continue writing, because this play could be extended to be 30 pages, 40 pages, and you already have the building blocks of what it's supposed to look like. All right? So, just going over it once again, Times New Roman, 12. All right? We want to make sure that we are at 1 line spacing, and we want to make sure none of these are selected, because, see, it's adding in that space down here. We don't want that, okay? Because look how much it adds. That's it adding so much space after all of our lines, and that's not what we want, okay? We want it to be 1.0, and we don't want any of these spaces before or after the paragraph, all right? So, play title in all caps by your name. Then we have our character list, first character, colon. Here's where the description would be. Second character, colon. Here's where the description would be. And then we have our horizontal line. Then moving forward, we always start with lights up, because if you think about your stage, we have to light it before we can see what's going on. Lights up, this is the first stage direction. It is in italics and parentheses. Stage directions are 1 tab in. First character enters. Gonna go over it just one more time, super quick. When you tab in a stage direction that is a few lines long, tab, backspace once, you got it. And then your character name is always in all capital letters, all right? So first character enters, you have your character's name 2 tabs in, tab, all right? 2 tabs in, you have their line right under their name. Then our next stage direction, second character enters. Again, I'm saying here, if it's too long and it extends beyond just 1 line, you press tab twice and backspace once. Show you that again. Tab, backspace once. Then we have our space. Second character's 2 tabs in. This is their response. Space. First character 2 tabs in. We put their stage direction right under their name because that stage direction belongs to them. It's saying that the first character's happy in their line. It's so good to see you. Then we have space, stage direction, lights out, and then the end. All right. So what I want you to do for your first assignment, just to reiterate, I want you to recreate this in your word processor of choice, whether that's Google Docs, Microsoft Word, or something else. I want you to recreate this the best that you can. And you're going to send it to me either in a Word document, you can send me a Google Drive link, you can send me a PDF, you can send me anything. I just want to make sure that you have this formatting down. All right. And if you followed along with this video, then you should be totally fine. All right. Of course, you're not going to write Noah Todd here. That is me. You're going to write your own name. But beyond that, this is what I want you to recreate. All right. Thank you guys.